Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? It's fight week yet again. It's fight week yet again, man. We've been blessed with back-to-back weekends of boxing. And, man, I got to say, this past weekend with Telefimo versus Cambosis, Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton, the fight that was the opening fight on that same card with Gary Antonio Russell, and I forget the guy's name. It was a very, very tough, strong, rough, very skilled Mexican fighter. I actually thought that fight could have went his way, or a draw at the very least. Man, it was so much competition on this past Saturday. This was honestly one of the most competitive, one of the most action-packed, and one of the most exciting nights of boxing that I've seen in a long time, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this past Saturday, and we have yet another weekend of, very good fights coming up. We have the Devin Haney versus JOJO Diaz title fight. Devin Haney defending his WBC title yet again, man. This time he's fighting the best fighter on paper in his prime, JOJO Diaz, very skilled, only lost to Gary Russell Jr., and this is going to be a really good fight. It's a fun, stylistic matchup. It's one of those classic matchups where you have an outboxer in Devin Haney. In my opinion, I think he's of the cloth of a master boxer, and you have a very tough, come forward, inside fighter, throws punches in bunches, and a southpaw in JOJO Diaz, which I think he definitely will give Devin Haney some looks that's gonna, make it a bit difficult in their form. And then, of course, you got Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Isaac Cruz, which should be a very entertaining and action-packed fight as well. Isaac Cruz is all offense, no defense, you know what I'm saying? But he throw punches in bunches, and we know what Gervonta Tank Davis do when it comes to offense. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I can't wait. It's going to be a good weekend of boxing. But we're here to talk about Devin Haney versus JOJO Diaz. Again, like I said, this is the WBC title shot for JOJO Diaz. Yes, Devin Haney is the WBC champion, contrary to popular belief or what anybody else may think. Shout out to Cambosis for getting the victory over Telefimo Lopez. He is now the unified champion. And I respect Cambosis, just like he said he respect Devin Haney. Devin Haney, I just watched his interview on the Last Stand podcast, and he said there's a mutual respect between those guys. And I'm glad that a guy like Cambosis holds those titles now, because I know that he a real dude. He got it out the mud, and he ain't finna act all Hollywood and acting like he the big dog, and he ain't got to prove nothing like Telefimo Lopez was. He willing to get out there and fight the best. So if Devin Haney can get past JOJO Diaz, I would love to see that matchup, or whoever it may be. So I want to get into the keys to victory for both guys. Let's start off with JOJO Diaz. For JOJO Diaz, in this fight, he's going to have to be extremely active. He's going to have to be extremely active but intelligent with his activity and his work rate. Don't just come in reckless, doing whatever you can to get on the inside, leaving yourself exposed and open, because Devin Haney is an extremely sharp and accurate counterpuncher. And people say he don't have power, but you get hit clean with one of those, or you get hit with too cleanly too many times, that shit gonna start hurting. You know what I'm saying? And it could deter a fighter from continuing to come forward. So I would like to see JOJO Diaz move his head continuously as he works his way on the inside. And he's going to have to use that jab from the southpaw stance. And I think he's going to have to use the double jab. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to have to double jab to the head, to the body, in order to get on the inside and get within his wheelhouse, get within his distance so he can do some work, because he's gonna be the smaller guy with shorter reach in this fight. And he has good hand speed, but I don't think his hand speed is on the level of Devin Haney's. So, he's really going to have to be cautious and really work that double and triple jab at times, even triple it up sometimes, in order to work his way on the inside and try to throw Devin Haney off and, just find his real estate so he can do some work. Another thing JoJo Diaz got to do, go to the body. He going to have to go to the body heavily in this fight. Devin Haney is a guy who showed us that he can fight on the inside in the Linares fight, but I would expect Devin Haney to be on the move in this fight. Use his legs, be on his bicycle, and box from the outside. Use his reach and his distance. Whenever JoJo Diaz does get an opportunity to get close to Devin Haney, he got to go to the body, try to slow him down. That's going to be big for him. And then also, I think his conditioning going to have to be on point, because this is a fight that if you going in there expecting to knock out Devin Haney in, 3-4 rounds, I mean, you sadly mistaken, unless you just catch him with some unbelievable shit. You going to be in it for the long haul. So JoJo Diaz conditioning got to be crazy in this fight in order for him to be as strong in the championship rounds as he was at the beginning of the fight. So the three things for JoJo Diaz, in my opinion, is activity, work rate, and staying busy. But you got to be smart with it. Activity. That's the first thing that he need to be focusing on in this fight. And then when he does get on the inside, he got to go to the body. You know what I'm saying? He going to have to find a way to work his way on the inside and get to that body. That's going to be key. And again, conditioning, which is a no-brainer in any fight, in my opinion. Your conditioning need to be top-notch anyway. But that's definitely going to be key for JoJo Diaz. Especially because he's going to be using a lot of energy trying to get on the inside. And if you getting hit with shots time after time after time, and you done use up all that energy, you can fuck around and get stopped later in the fight because you tired, you done took too much punishment, and you was unsuccessful getting on the inside. And then at some point, that shit gonna start, all them counters gonna take a toll. For Devin Haney, man, I think the number one thing for Devin Haney is the jab. That's the number one thing. I think Devin Haney has one of the best jabs in the entire sport of boxing. It's fast, it's stiff, it's accurate, it's sharp, and it's powerful. He can literally control a guy with the jab for 12 rounds if he wants to. I think that jab is going to be key for Devin Haney. Use that jab. They got to be popping all night, and I know it will, because he's going to be in some shape. He's going to be in hell of a shape. If you seen him on Instagram, you seen him cut up like a bag of dope. Devin Haney always come to the fights in shape. So I know that jab going to be popping all night, and he's going to have to do that to be successful in this fight. He's a longer guy with a longer reach. He's going to be fighting from a distance in this fight, at least for the majority of the fight. I believe at some point he's going to want to come forward and start applying pressure. If it gets to the point where he feel like JoJo Diaz can't hurt him, or he done got him in that position that I just spoke of in regard to JoJo Diaz getting tired late in the fight, and he just really can't, ain't shit been working, and he done took punishment. I can see Devin Haney coming forward at some point, but everything got to work behind that jab, whether he boxing from the outside or coming forward, we got to use that jab. Next for Devin Haney, the straight right hand. I think Devin Haney has a very crisp and hard straight right hand, a very sharp straight right hand, and with JoJo Diaz being a southpaw, that straight right hand is going to be there for the taking. If JoJo Diaz not moving his head like I said he should, while he's trying to come forward and get on the inside, that straight right hand is going to be a motherfucker. I can see that straight right hand busting JoJo Diaz's nose, bloody in his eyes up, really making it tough for him, and really, kind of deterring him a little bit from putting on some of that pressure. The straight right hand is going to be key for Devin Haney. Another thing for Devin Haney, I think he also needs to go to the body on those counters. He ain't just going to be sitting back waiting on Diaz all night sometimes he gonna have to be first too. And those times when he first, he need to be going to the body too. You know what I'm saying? I want to see jab, straight right. I want to see the uppercut, but also I think he need to go to the body. I want to see the uppercut more than anything from Devin Haney in this fight. Outside of the jab and the straight right. Outside of those two weapons, because I think those are going to be his staples. Those are going to be the main two weapons for Devin Haney in this fight, the jab, straight right. But I also want to see the uppercut. You got a smaller guy coming forward. You know, you're going to be able to set him up for shit, just like how Terrence Crawford set up Sean Porter with that uppercut. Devin Haney going to be able to do the same shit with JoJo Diaz, you know, if his timing is on point. And I think it will be. You know, so I would like to see Devin Haney mix it up. I think in this fight you're going to see Devin Haney really mix up his punch variation. I think you'll see the jab, the straight right, the uppercut. You're going to see the left hook. I think you'll see the overhand right. I think you're really going to see a whole lot of offense from Devin Haney in this fight late in the fight. Early on, you're going to see, you know, a lot of patient jab, counter punch, you know, just a kind of bull matador type of vibe, allowing Diaz to come forward and expose himself, and Devin Haney being patient and sharp with the counter punches. I think this is going to be a competitive fight for the first half of the fight. Is going to be extremely competitive. And like I said, if JoJo Diaz is, if his conditioning is on point and he's strong late in the fight, shit, this can go all the way down to the wire. But my final prediction, man, I see Devin Haney being extremely successful in this fight. I got Devin Haney by UD. I think he wins this fight clean and comfortably on the cards with a possible stoppage late in the fight. Just like how I called the Shakur Stevenson fight, UD or on the cards, I'm looking at this fight just how I saw Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring. I'm really looking at this fight to be much of the same. I'm looking for Devin Haney to either win a unanimous decision, or I could see a stoppage late in the fight. And it might not be a one-punch knockout. I think it'll just be an accumulation of ass whooping. I could see Devin Haney just hitting JoJo Diaz repeatedly with the jab. And like I said, with his skills, which are superior to JoJo Diaz's skills, in my opinion, on top of the fact that he has a very obvious size advantage, I just really don't see too much that JoJo Diaz is going to be able to do in this fight to keep Devin Haney from having his way. I think Devin Haney will repeatedly hit JoJo with the jab, the straight right hand. You will see blood in this fight. You're going to see the overhand right from Devin Haney. I would not be surprised if Devin Haney stops JoJo Diaz like in the 11th round. And I think it's going to be a ref stoppage. It's just going to be too much punishment. I think the ref is going to realize that, hey, I mean, this guy, he's not able to do anything with Devin Haney. Why just let him continue to take this punishment? If JoJo Diaz is still strong and his conditioning is good and he's still throwing punches and fighting back, it'll go to the cards and Devin Haney will win a wide unanimous decision, something like 9-3, possibly 10-2, at the lower range 8-4. I don't see anything lower than that for Devin Haney. I just think he's a superior fighter, and I think he'll go in there and get the job done, man. But you know, after this, if he is able to be successful, I would love to see him unify with George Cambosis, and you know, and let's do it all. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it for all the marbles. You know what I'm saying? And let's see what the hell going on. Who really the best? That's what we want. We want to see one face, one name, one champion. And, you know, all that franchise belt shit, you know, ain't no disrespect to Cambosis because he carry himself like a real motherfucker. He ain't out here parading around talking about we got J-Lo, like Teofimo Lopez. You know, Cambosis, you know, he a real one. And I respect him. So no disrespect, none of that on Cambosis. But he's a unified champion. You know, that franchise belt, that's some bullshit. Josh Taylor, undisputed at 140. He ain't got no damn franchise belt. Earl Spence, WBC champion at 147. He ain't got no damn franchise belt. You know what I'm saying? Jamil Charlo, unified, finna fight for undisputed again. They ain't fighting for no damn franchise belt. You know what I'm saying? Clarissa Shields, 2-time undisputed this year in 2 different weight classes. She don't got no damn franchise belt. You know what I'm saying? So how the fuck they undisputed with a franchise belt, but all the other champions got the same belt Devin Haney got. You dig what I'm saying? So that's how I'm rocking with it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How do y'all see this fight going? Break it down for me in the comments. I know I did a poll, but I want y'all to really get descriptive on how y'all think this fight gonna go. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime, boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.